A CEO's stand. The day a flight was grounded to fight injustice. Eleanor Harris stood at the terminal window of Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson Airport, her gaze fixed on the plane she'd just been escorted off. The same flight attendant who'd humiliated her was now frantically gesturing from the jetway. The bustling airport fell silent as Eleanor's voice boomed over the PA system. "This is your CEO speaking. Flight 1423 is officially grounded." What unfolded next wasn't just a corporate shake-up, it was a seismic reckoning with systemic injustice that would ripple far beyond the tarmac. How did a powerful black CEO end up here? And what would she do with the power to change an industry? Eleanor Harris never imagined she'd run an airline. Growing up in Macon, Georgia, she spent her childhood watching planes soar from the local airport where her father, Samuel, worked as a custodian. At 10, she'd press her fingers against the chain-link fence, dreaming of flight. "Dad, could I fly one someday?" she'd ask. Samuel's tired eyes softened. "You can do anything, Ellie, but the world won't always roll out the red carpet." Those words fueled her through a childhood of modest means, where her academic brilliance opened doors her family's income couldn't. A full scholarship to Spelman College set her on a path toward business, with a laser focus on aviation. At Harvard Business School, Eleanor faced a new kind of turbulence, subtle but persistent discrimination. In a finance class, her correct answer was ignored, only for a white male classmate to be praised for the same response minutes later. She developed a mantra: be twice as prepared, speak 3 times as clearly, and never show frustration. Graduating in the top 5%, she joined Horizon Airlines, rising from analyst to operations director in 4 years. But when a less qualified colleague was promoted over her, she saw the glass ceiling clearly. At 27, she took a daring leap, mortgaging everything to buy a failing regional airline, Skylink, with the backing of 5 investors. Industry skeptics scoffed, predicting failure. One trade magazine called her a diversity hire playing CEO. But Eleanor had a vision. She rebranded Skylink as Unity Airlines, introducing transparent pricing and routes to underserved communities. Within 3 years, Unity was profitable. By year 10, it was America's 5th largest airline, lauded for service and innovation. Eleanor prioritized diversity. 60% of her executive team were people of color, and Unity boasted the industry's highest percentage of minority pilots. Critics claimed she favored identity over merit. "I hire the best," she'd counter in interviews. When you remove bias, you find talent everywhere. Success came at a cost. Her marriage crumbled under the weight of 100-hour workweeks, and at 42, she faced the regret of postponing motherhood. "Unity is my family," she told a magazine, masking the ache of personal sacrifice. To stay grounded, Eleanor secretly flew undercover quarterly, experiencing Unity as a passenger. On a Tuesday morning in Atlanta, dressed in jeans and a scarf to hide her signature braids, she boarded Flight 1423 to Chicago. At the gate, Agent Tyler scanned her pass with a nod. But at the aircraft door, flight attendant Karen Mitchell's smile faded. "Are you sure you're on this flight?" she asked, scrutinizing Eleanor's economy class boarding pass for seat 14A. "The gate agent cleared me," Eleanor said calmly. Karen's tone sharpened. "This is first-class boarding. Economy boards later." When Eleanor explained she'd been cleared, Karen called over colleague Marcus Jones, a black flight attendant. Marcus confirmed the pass was valid, but Karen insisted, "Check it again." Passengers nearby turned to watch. Eleanor began recording discreetly, a habit from years of navigating bias. Karen noticed. "You can't record me. That's against policy." Eleanor replied evenly, "Unity allows passengers to record their own experiences." Karen's face flushed. "How would you know our policies?" She called security, claiming Eleanor was disruptive. A white businessman nearby, filming for his vlog, pointed out he hadn't been challenged. Karen ignored him. Security Officer Davis arrived, and despite Eleanor's calm explanation, Karen declared, "As a crew member, I can remove any passenger I deem disruptive." Marcus hesitated but stayed silent. Officer Davis escorted Eleanor back to the terminal, whispering, "I don't see what you did wrong, ma'am, but we back the crew." Alone at the gate, Eleanor watched Flight 1423 prepare to depart. But she wasn't just another passenger, she was Unity's CEO, with the power to act. Would you reveal your identity in her shoes, or use the moment to expose deeper issues? Eleanor chose the latter. She called her executive VP, Carla Thompson, and legal counsel, David Martinez. Meet me at gate C42. Bring HR. We have a problem. As she waited, Eleanor accessed Unity's HR database on her phone. Karen Mitchell had 6 prior discrimination complaints from passengers of color, all dismissed as misunderstandings. A broader search revealed a pattern. Dozens of similar complaints buried by middle management. The diversity policies Eleanor championed were being undermined. Carla and David arrived, stunned by Eleanor's video of the incident. "This is textbook discrimination," David said. "Karen ignored the white passenger recording but targeted you." Carla agreed. "She's gone." But Eleanor shook her head. "Firing one person won't fix this. We need systemic change." A ground crew supervisor, Michael Carter, approached hesitantly. "Ms. Harris? Why aren't you on the flight?" Before she could answer, airport security reviewed footage and apologized, admitting Eleanor's removal was unjustified. Eleanor's resolve hardened. She called Unity's board chairman, Harold Grayson, invoking Emergency Protocol Alpha, granting her unilateral crisis authority. "I was racially profiled on our flight," she told him, sending the video. "This isn't isolated. I'm grounding the plane." Harold warned of stock market fallout. "The stock will recover when we prove we're serious about change," Eleanor countered. She instructed the captain, Devin Walsh, to delay departure. At gate C42, Eleanor, now in a tailored suit, her power armor, marched onto the plane with Carla, David, HR, and security. Passengers murmured as Karen's face paled, recognizing the CEO. Eleanor took the cabin PA. "This is Eleanor Harris, CEO of Unity Airlines. 30 minutes ago, I was removed from this flight for no reason other than discrimination. This isn't about me, it's about every passenger who's faced this without recourse." She detailed Karen's actions, revealing her pattern of complaints. Effective immediately, Unity has a zero-tolerance policy for discrimination. "Ms. Mitchell, you're on administrative leave pending investigation." Carla handed Karen an HR notice. Karen stammered, "I was following protocol." Eleanor countered, "You ignored a white passenger doing the same thing. That's discrimination." Passengers nodded. One shouted, "I saw it." Marcus Jones spoke up. "I've seen Karen treat passengers of color differently before. I should have reported it." Another attendant, Priya Sharma, added, "I've witnessed it too." Eleanor announced refunds and vouchers for all passengers, apologizing for the delay. As Karen was escorted off, applause erupted, not polite, but fervent. The story exploded online. Passengers' videos went viral, with grounding bias trending nationwide. News outlets split. Some praised Eleanor's courage, others called it a PR stunt. Unity's stock plummeted 17%, and corporate clients canceled contracts. Former employees shared stories of ignored complaints, exposing a culture of denial. At an emergency board meeting, Eleanor faced skeptics like investor Martin Reynolds, who argued her actions were reckless. She presented damning data: 214 discrimination complaints in a year, 92% dismissed, 89% from passengers of color. Priya sent documents revealing managers mocking diversity initiatives, shocking even Martin. Eleanor issued an ultimatum: "Support my plan to root out discrimination, or I resign." The board voted 9-3 in her favor. Unity implemented sweeping changes: an independent complaint oversight committee, mandatory anti-bias training, HR restructuring, and promotions for overlooked talent like Priya, now head of customer experience. Resistance came: executives resigned, and customer satisfaction dipped initially. But by month 3, complaint resolution times dropped 67%, and minority employee satisfaction rose. By month 6, Unity stock hit an all-time high, driven by loyal minority travelers. Karen Mitchell, after training and a heartfelt apology, was rehired in community outreach, sparking debate. Was redemption possible, or should consequences be permanent? A year later, Eleanor flew Flight 1423 undercover again. At the gate, Agent Carmen greeted her warmly, no questions asked. On board, crew treated all passengers equally, small acts now routine. A passenger, Patricia Evans, recognized her from the original flight. "You changed how I see fairness," Patricia said, sharing how she'd reformed her school's bias policies. Eleanor, now a mother to adopted daughter Zoe, felt the weight of her legacy. On the incident's anniversary, Unity launched a foundation for minority aviation scholarships. Complaints had dropped 73%, with 98% thoroughly resolved. Eleanor addressed employees. We're not done, but we're building a company where dignity isn't negotiable. At home, she tucked Zoe into bed, telling the story of the CEO who grounded a flight for justice. Did it work, Mama? Zoe asked. It's working, sweetheart, Eleanor said. Every day, it gets better. The plane Eleanor grounded didn't just take off its sword as a symbol of accountability. Unity wasn't perfect, but it was proof that one stand against injustice could transform an industry. What would you do if you faced discrimination like Eleanor's? Would you speak up, like Marcus eventually did, or stay silent? Share your thoughts below. Have you encountered injustice or violence in your life? Take a stand, share your perspective, and let's keep this conversation alive. Your voice matters.